All right, you guys, so we are going to go over our similarity test review. So the first thing we're going to do is figure out if these two trapezoids are similar. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to compare our similar sides. So we're going to compare 8 to 10, and we're going to set it equal to 7 over 8.75. Then we're going to set it equal to 10 over 15. Okay. By first glance, when you look at the 8 over 10, you can kind of see that the 8 over 10 can be reduced. So if we reduce those both by 2, we're going to get 4 over 5. 7 over 8.75 isn't going to be super easy, but we can reduce 10 over 15. They're both divisible by 5. So if we divide them both by 5, we get 2 over 3. So even without knowing the 7 over 8.75, we know that these are not congruent proportions. So these are not similar figures. So not similar. All right, in ABC and JTO, we have to figure out which is a correct proportion and circle all that apply. So what we're going to look at is our placement of letters. So A and C is the first and third letter. J and O, first and third. So that one checks out. Okay. Then we're going to look at B and C. B and C is the second and third. O and T are the second and third. So even though the OT is in a different order, it's still the same proportional side, regardless of the order of those letters. Okay. Second one, we have AB and we have JT. AB is the first two, JT is the first two, so that works out. AC is first and third. T and O is second and third, looking at that statement. So B is not an option. Then we have BC to TO. So BC is second and third. TO is second and third, so that checks out. Then we have AC and JO. AC is first and third. JO is first and third. So C is a good answer. Then we have D. D is AB and JT, which is first and second on both. We have AC, which is first and third, JT, which is first and second. So that does not match up. Okay. Number three. Number 3 says that we have a farmer was building a new enclosure for his pigs. The original pen had a perimeter of 160. The new one had a perimeter of 400, so it grew to 400 feet in the perimeter. So what scale factor was used to determine the perimeter of the new pen? So if we turn this into a ratio, we have 160 to 400. We can divide them both by 10, so we have 16 to 40. Divide those both by 4, we have 4 to 10. We can divide 4 and 10 both by 2, so we have a 2 to 5. So it grew, if we simplify that all the way down, it grew by 2.5, because if you divide 5 over 2, you're going to get 2.5. Or you can say it had a ratio of 2 to 5. Either is okay. Number 4, it says ABC is similar to DEF. The very important thing to know about this is that while the sides are not congruent, the angles are. So A, B, C, D, E, F. Angle A is congruent to D, B is congruent to E, and C is congruent to F. So when angle A is 50 degrees and angle C is 30, angle D is 2x plus 5y, and angle F is 4x minus 25y, then we just have some things that we need to set equal to each other. So we're going to set A and D equal to each other. So 2x plus 5y is equal to 50. And then C and F are going to be congruent. So 4x minus 25y equals 30. I solved this by canceling out my y's. So I multiplied this bottom one by 5. So I had 10x plus 25y equals 250. So I had 14x equals 280. Divide by 14. and x equaled 20. From there, I plugged that in, so I did 2 times 20 plus, sorry, my handwriting is getting really little, 5y equals 50. So 40 plus 5y equals 50. So subtract 40, 5y equals 10. Oops, divide by 5, and y equals 2. So our final answer, x is 20 and y is 2. All right, looking at number 5, it says the figures below are similar. So find the scale factor and solve for x and y. So the two sides that relate to each other and are both numbers are going to be the 8 and the 12. So we can use our scale factor. I'm going to go left to right. So 8 to 12, which will also reduce, divide them by 4, and you get 2 over 3. So we're going to be using that ratio 2 over 3, and then we can set all of our left to rights equal to that. So we're going to have 6 and x. So we're going to have left over right, so 6 over x, cross multiply, 18 equals 2x, so x equals 9. And then we're going to have a different proportion to solve for y, so we should have 2 over 3 equals 9 over y. So y equals, 2y equals 27, so y equals 13.5. All right, number 6 says determine if the two figures are similar. So what we're going to do is we're going to check the short side on the top one, which is 63, to the short side on the bottom one. So I'm going to do top and bottom. So 63 over 39 and set it equal to our top over our bottom. So 84 over 52. So what we can do here, I choose to cross multiply. So 84 times 39, and we have to see if it's equal to 63 times 52. And shockingly, they both come out to be 3,276. So that checks out. The sides are proportional. Then we also know that we have congruent angles because of vertical angles. So they are congruent by SAS, side angle side. And we could use the similarity statement. TRU is similar to SRQ. All right, number 7. Telephone pole casts a 24-foot shadow. We don't know how tall it is though. Belinda is 5 feet tall. She cast a 7-foot shadow. Here's Belinda. And then we have our telephone pole. And it says find the height of the pole. So if we don't know the height of our pole, that is our x. The two sides that go together, x and 5 go together. And then 24 and 7 go together. So I'm going to do left over right. So x over 5 equals 24 over 7. So 7x equals 5 times 24. 7x equals 120. So that means x equals 17.14. All right, number 8. So number 8 is one of those where we can just draw in this middle line. It creates our two fractions for us. So we have 15 over 6 equals 10 over x. So 15x equals 60, and x equals 4. Okay. Our next one is not the same type of question. So on this one, we have two triangles. We have first our little triangle, and then we also have this outside triangle. So on this one, our outside triangle has a long side of 17, so 6 plus 11. So what we're going to do, I'm going to draw it out because I like to see it this way. We have 6 and 18, and then our big one is Z and 17. So now our sides that go together, we have 6 and 17. So 6 over 17 equals 18 over z. So from there, we're going to go ahead and cross multiply. So 6z is going to equal 18 times 17, which is 306. And divide by 6, z equals 51. Make sure you're really careful not to just draw that line through the middle. All right, number 10, it says APB is similar to CPB. What is the length of AC? So AP is similar to CP. So those two are in a fraction together. 10 over 14. Then we have AB, so first and third, is similar to CB. So we're going to have x plus 2 over 2x plus 1. These are equal to each other. So we're going to cross multiply. So we're going to have 10 times 2x plus 1 equals 14 times x plus 2. Distribute. So 20x plus 10 equals 14x plus 28. And if we subtract 14x, we're going to get 6x plus 10 equals 28. So 6x equals 18 and x equals 3. Final answer though, it says find the length of AC. So we are going to have 3 plus 2. 2 times 3 plus 1. So we're going to have 5 plus 7, which is going to give us a total length of 12. All right, number 11 is going to be one of those where you can just draw that line in the middle. Oops. So we're going to have this over here and this over here. So it's going to be set up just the same way. We're going to have a proportion. So 2 over x plus 3 is going to equal 3 over x plus 7. So we're going to cross multiply. So 2x plus 14 is equal to 3x plus 9. Subtract from both sides. So subtract 2x, we're going to get x. Subtract 9, we're going to get 5. So x equals 5. So from there, what we can do, it says find the length from J to Y. So we know this length is 3. And then we're going to have this length here is 5 plus 7, which is 12, which gives us a total length of 15. So that's our final answer right there is 15. All right, on to number 12. So number 12, we're trying to figure out which similarity theorem can be used to prove the triangle similar. So on number 12, we have two parallel lines, which means that we can use parallel lines in a transversal. So if we use AX as our transversal, we're going to have these two angles that are congruent because they are corresponding angles. Then X is also just going to be congruent because it's used in both the triangles. So the triangles are congruent by angle, angle. Okay. Number 13. So number 13 asks if they are similar again. So we're going to have to check our proportions. So we're going to use the smaller length 48 with the smaller length 60. And we're going to compare that to our bigger length over the bigger length. So when we do this, these actually both reduce to 4 over 5. So our proportions are good. And we have a congruent angle because of our vertical angles. So they are congruent by side, angle, side. All right, then we have number 14. So number 14, we have lots of side lengths here. So what we're going to do is compare them all. So when we compare them, we are going to have 25 over 35. And then we're going to have 30, which is here, over 42. Make sure to add those sides together. And then we're going to set it equal to 35 over 49. 25 and 35 are both divisible by 5, which gives you 5 over 7. 30 and 42 are both divisible by 6, which gives you 5 over 7. And 35 and 49 are both divisible by 7, which gives you 5 over 7. So these all check out. So this can be side, side, side. The other thing is that they both use angle R. So you could also say that they are similar by side, angle, side if you only want to check two side proportions. All right, so number 15, it says a rectangle with a width of 8 and a length of 12 is enlarged by a scale factor of 4. So what we can do is have our four sides listed. If they're increased by a scale factor of 4, then that means, oh, I have that drawn wrong, sorry. I have 8 and 12. 12 is going to become 48, and 8 is going to become 32 because we just multiplied them by 4. So the easiest way to do this one, in my opinion, is just to add those four sides up. So if you add them up, you are going to get a perimeter of 160. Moving on to number 16. So number 16, we are going to set up a proportion. We're going to have 4 over 12. So 4 over 12 is going to be equal to 3x minus 2 over x plus 10. So we're going to cross multiply 4 times x plus 10 is going to be equal to 12 times 3x minus 2. So we're going to have 4x plus 40 equals 36x minus 24. So we're going to end up having 32x equals 64, and we're going to get x equals 2. All right, xyz is similar to TOY. The scale factor is 2 to 3, 2 over 3, which can also be written as 2 to 3, which means 2 goes with your xyz and 3 goes with the TOY. So if the perimeter of TOY is 60, find the perimeter of xyz. So we're going to have 2 over 3. The perimeter of 60 goes with TOY, which is our 3, which means it goes on bottom. X goes on top. Cross multiply, we're going to get 120 equals 3x. So x equals 40. Moving on to the back. It says Kylie is purchasing a new rope for the flagpole. She doesn't know the height. Dylan is 4 feet tall, sitting next to the flagpole. Casts a 7-foot shadow. Then we have Kylie, and she measures the shadow of the flagpole to be 35. So we want to know the height of the pole. So we're just going to set up a proportion. 4 and x are going to go together. 4 over x, and we're going to have 7 and 35. So 7x equals 4 times 35. Divided by 7, x equals 20. Okay. Number 19 asks if equilateral triangles are always similar. This is true because they always have angle similarity. Number 20, it says right triangles are always similar. This is false because you could have a right triangle with a 30 and a 60, or you could have a right triangle with 45 and 45. So there's different kinds of right triangles with different angles, so they're not always going to be similar. Sometimes they're similar, but not always. Sometimes. There we go. All right. Then it says find the scale factor. So we're going to take the smallest side on A, which is 12, the smallest side on B, which is 9, and it says find the scale factor from B to A. So we're going to take our B smallest value and then our A value, and then just reduce that down. Those are both divisible by 3, so we're going to have a scale factor of 3 to 4. All right, last one. It says determine if they are similar, complete the statement. So we know that they share angle N, so that's good. And then we just have to check our ratios. So we're going to have 32 over the whole length, which is 40. And we're going to set it equal to, we have to subtract, so 45 minus 9 is 36. So 36 over 45. 32 and 40 are both divisible by 8, so you're going to get 4 over 5. 36 and 45 are both divisible by 9, which gives you 4 over 5. So that checks out. They are similar by side, angle, side. And then JKN is going to be similar to RVN. And that is it.